後で配られたなんかいっぱいの。
Not yet.
Nobody got it?
Photograph
Okay,
of
Sorry about that. I'm starting to...
Sorry, we are copying now, so we'll give you answer. Sorry. Please wait. Yes, please. And start, please, Carol.
I'm very pleased to have a speech at this meeting where we are talking about how to remove the nuclear threat in Northeast Asia. And it is precious for me to share the idea of the Northeast Asian nuclear weapon-free zone as a proper vision for removing those threats in this region. Now I'm saying why we need this initiative and what and how we should do. There are several reasons why we should support the Northeast Asian nuclear weapon-free zone initiative. At first, the initiative provides us the most comprehensive vision ever presented. We can find the effective way to remove all kinds of nuclear threats in this region from the initiative. It focuses not only on a specific nuclear threat, but also on the conditions and the dynamism that provoke and accelerate nuclear threat in this region. This initiative is based on the idea that South and North Korea and Japan won't rely on any nuclear deterrence, while the neighbor countries which have nuclear weapons will provide NSA to 3 member countries by endorsing this treaty. According to joint statement by parliamentarians of Japan and South Korea on denuclearization of Northeast Asia, they recognize security based on nuclear deterrence is the legacy of the Cold War to be liquidated. They well know that nuclear deterrence causes insecurity rooted in armed races of distrust and never-ending confrontation. I believe this initiative is a Northeast Asian version of the universal approach toward nuclear weapon-free world. Secondly, this initiative reminds us each country shares common responsibility for having expanded nuclear threats in this region. Let's take the North Korea's nuclear issue. North Korea has been frequently accused of violating the promise not to develop nuclear weapons. However, what we need to remember is there had been 1,000 nuclear weapons deployed in South Korea even before North Korea had built a nuclear reprocessing plant and had a nuclear test. The other critical thing is the U.S. is still adhering to preemptive nuclear attack option against North Korea, which was designed by Bush administration far before North Korea tested nuclear bomb. Thirdly, Northeast Asia Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone Initiative will have 6-part talk that easily proceed and be completed. One of the reasons why 6 parties have not reached a conclusion is the different understandings about denuclearization among the countries. This initiative can make it possible to define components of denuclearization which help them to agree to the same concept. For example, South Korea, Japan, and the US have insisted that it is not exchangeable between the nuclear umbrella and the nuclear discard. I think the Treaty for Northeast Asian Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone should include provision for effective prohibition of the stationing or transporting of any type of explosive nuclear devices for any purpose, as well as nuclear umbrella. Then, what should we do for the nuclear weapon-free Northeast Asia? We, the people of South Korea, Japan, and the US, should step forward beyond skepticism and fear. Now, we should initiate preemptive peace activity, not attack, towards the nuclearization of each country, eventually to nuclear weapon-free Northeast Asia. We can start a series of preemptive peace activities without conditioning the abolition of North Korean nukes beforehand. I believe this is the effective strategy to resolve nuclear threats in Northeast Asia, because the countries which have superior conventional military capacity can more easily make such a decision. Moreover, it can be a proper way to revise the legacy of Cold War and destructive result from the U.S. nuclear unilateralism, such as preemptive nuclear attack doctrine that South Korea and Japanese government have been involved in. Let's look back the footprints of the post-Cold War era in terms of relations within each country in the Northeast Asia. In a broad sense, in the 1990s, governments and people sought for improving international relations and reconciliation. South Korea restored and improved the relation with China and Russia in the end of the 1980s. And by 2002, North Korea and Japan and North Korea and the US concluded a comprehensive agreement to restore the relations, such as the South-North Korean Summit in 2000, US DPRK joint communique in 2000, and the DPRK Japan Summit in 2002. However, the Bush administration denied implementing it, and then war on terror began. After that, the situation in the Northeast Asia got worsened. This provided North Korea a reason to justify their so-called securing the nuclear deterrent. Northeast Asia is now at crossroads. Coming years will be the turning point for either resolving or worsening nuclear threats in Northeast Asia. Then, we should not opt for the failed strategy that is preemptive nuclear attack, oppression, disregard, exaggerated fear, distrust, and so on. Rather, we should opt for preemptive peace activity, which has been opted before. Here are my recommendations of the preemptive peace activities for the governments and the people of Northeast Asia, especially South Korea, Japan, and the US, as enabling conditions for nuclear weapon-free Northeast Asia. The nuclear preemptive attack option should be abolished without condition. Three neighbor countries are required to accept no first use policy. Nuclear extended deterrence policy should be also abolished either without condition or in condition for exchange with the abolition of North Korea's nuclear weapons. Six-part talk should go parallel with efforts to remove nuclear threats in Northeast Asia. Abolition of North Korean nuclear weapons is not necessary to be a precondition to begin negotiations either for six-part talk or nuclear weapon-free zone in Northeast Asia. Any efforts to achieve nuclear weapon-free zone in the region should go parallel with efforts to introduce the peace regime and to reduce military spending. Northeast Asia nuclear weapon-free zone initiative should include prohibition of the stationing or transporting of any type of explosive nuclear device. Korea and Japan should stop trying to possess it.